I mean, this is for Ric Flair more than it is for the Carolina Gamecocks. But whatever.
Sean Speed's died.
Welcome to Dropping Dimes. It is edition number 3. I have no idea what just happened to Sean. Carolina Boys 300.
Whoops.
Sean, where are you?
Right here.
There he is. He's back.
Sorry, I didn't know that would happen. I was about to do the sandstorm thing.
What's the sandstorm thing?
You know, from South
A
Carolina.
towel.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. What shirt do you have on?
It's my work shirt. Been busy today.
Oh, okay.
Well, not really. It's about Alzheimer's.
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Better,
How's
better
everybody
for him to have that shirt on than for him to be topless right now.
Yeah, we have 2 views on YouTube, and I think they're both me watching it. So I guess we're not off to a good start, but whatever, we'll get there.
That's okay. Neither one of us pumped it up today on Rich's show. I forgot about it.
I did. I completely forgot about it too, so I'm not worried about it so much on there right now. So I'll get on. I don't think he's got a lot of listeners. You say he does. I don't know. So
Well, I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying it's 100,000 or whatever, but I think it's more than 5.
you think?
Oh, I think he's probably got several hundred a day at least.
Do you think that their station doesn't reach as far as like the Roar?
No, it reaches further.
Really?
They've got a better signal. Have you not drove around and listened to their signal and then listened to the Roar signal?
No.
And
I mean, I don't live there.
whatever 97.7 and 97.3 or whatever the hell it is in Spartanburg, it's much better than both of those. You can get it crystal clear all the way to almost the Two Kings. The Roar, you cannot.
Uncle Neil, you said it's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's only if you search "Dropping Dimes," you'll find it. You'll see.
Well, if you'll-
Let me do it. Let me do it real quick.
Sean, that makes you go off. I can tell you this: once you get this ready, if you'll send me a link to it or whatever, I'll post it on my
Well, no.
Twitter.
I'm about to send it to both of y'all so you can put it on your Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want to put it on.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll put it on my Twitter, and I'll try to see if they'll let us post it on that the Wager Wire stuff. I'm sure they will.
So copy that link and then post it on whatever social media you want.
Is it going to be able? Are we going to be able to edit it? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, I can edit it. Yeah.
So we can take this part out at the beginning.
I'm not going to take it out because at the end of the day, we don't have viewers anyway, so it's not like they're going to waste their time.
Well, what I want to do is edit it and then try to put it on that thing so Wager Wire can post it.
No, I can cut it out if you want to. Yeah. Did you get the link?
Yeah.
Post that
Yeah, I
on
seen it.
Twitter or wherever you want to post it.
Oh, is it live now?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can post it. So we are. It is Friday, September the 12th. Boy, it was almost Friday the 13th. Look at that. So I guess we're not going to have bad luck after all. And we are doing our 3rd episode. I posted it on my Twitter. You guys, I don't know if you guys did or not, but I got it on mine.
I don't know how to.
So you copy that link that I sent you, and then you just and then you just paste that link on Twitter.
Okay. Well, the one that sent me, it says, Sean, click the dang link.
Yeah, you can click it too. But you have to hold it down to copy it.
I am, and then it brings up a bunch of fucking smiley faces.
Hold on. Yeah, then
A thumb.
and then scroll. Once you hold down, go to copy at the bottom.
It don't show that. It's got a thumb, a heart, a smiley face, a couple other faces, and then that's it. Create.
Oh, okay. So let me try something.
That's my phone.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's my phone. Let me see if I can go to Twitter and find your link there, and then I'll just repost it.
Okay. Sean, were you able to do it, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. So where'd you post it at?
Facebook and Twitter.
So when we first started talking about doing this, you were talking about you had a couple of guys that wanted to watch. Are you going to tell them or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're getting ready. I'll give everybody a quick scoreboard update. Houston is beating this is college football. Houston is beating Colorado 10-0. And then there's 2 FBS teams playing FCS. Indiana's beaten Indiana State 45-0 just coming out of halftime, and Syracuse is about to go into halftime. They're up 31-3. And we will switch over here because I know gamblers like the scores. Baseball. Pittsburgh and Washington is the bottom of the seventh. Washington is winning 4-3. St. Louis and Milwaukee scoreless, top of the second. Baltimore, Toronto, bottom of the fifth is 1-0. I almost played the under in that game when I was at Two Kings, and I ended up backing out like a little pussy. But White Sox and Cleveland. Cleveland's got a 2-0 lead, top of the sixth. Yankees also have a 2-0 lead, top of the fifth. Earlier today, the Cubs beat Tampa 6-4. Philly has beaten Kansas City 6-1. Excuse me, bottom of the fifth. Detroit is down to Miami 5-1. That's in the top of the fifth. Texas is beating New York Mets 6-3, bottom of the fourth. Houston is beating the Braves like everybody else has done this year, top of the fifth. And in the first inning, Arizona leads Minnesota 1-0 as Minnesota comes to bat. All right, so I guess Bill is trying to find the link and post it. So, Sean, my first question is for you.
Okay, here we go.
You got your first taste of, I mean, obviously you bet a quarter, 50 cents, $1 sometimes on FanDuel or whatever you use. So you got your first taste of 0-5 last week. How does it feel?
I mean, hey, do you know hey, you must know my friend Owen.
Owen who?
0-5.
So don't feel bad because everybody that has actually ever bet, that has bet 5 games, 6 games, 7 games, they've all went over. Trust me on that.
You know, I tell you what, I did make a 5 pick on my NFL like last week. I'm sure you can still hear me on this. But I'm gonna tell you my 5 picks.
You know, if you got to use your phone while you're on your phone doing this, you have to go to a different screen and it turns off the camera. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Do y'all see?
So, I see what?
Do you see Bill? And Bill, do you see Sean? Like
now.
I don't now. I did a minute ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't know y'all could see each other. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I see all 3 of y'all, or both of y'all.
Yeah. So with my 5-team thing that I did for last weekend, I had Kansas City. That was a loss. I had Washington win, Pittsburgh win, Cincinnati win, and my nails were biting on this. By the way, the under.
You're talking about straight up now, right? You're not talking about against the point spread.
Well, no, this last one was the point spread because I had the under.
Yeah, well, the Cincinnati didn't cover. I can tell you that. And
no, it's not point spread. No, it's just money line.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Yeah.
Yeah, money line. Yeah. Well, I had the under 47.5 points at the Detroit and Green Bay game, and boy, my nails were biting. I was biting my nails.
Yeah, right. That was a good pick. I can't believe you picked the under on anything.
I know. I'm mostly over.
1,000 touchdowns every weekend. So.
Well, I have gotten close with that, by the way, winning $10,000 with the quarter last year or 2 years ago, and it made me mad.
You know how many times everybody that's ever gambled got close to winning something?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm sure. But, well, let me tell you, all I needed it was a late night game. It was Aaron Jones that needed to score a touchdown. I forgot what team he was playing, but I think it was a Sunday night game. I don't remember, or Monday night game, but every time they were running down their throats, and they just kept putting A.J. Dillon in where he scored a red zone touchdown. It made me mad.
I remember that because I remember you and I were talking during that game, and you kept wanting him to get a touchdown. That's the only one you missed?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I had a buddy of mine down in Florida, Monica's best friend's son. He played a 10-team parlay this weekend, and the only one he lost was the Detroit Lions.
Oh, dang.
Yep. It was a $20 free bet to win $2,500. If you lost.
Yeah, those people on WagerWire, somebody on that show or whatever has posted a bet that they did. They had the NBA champion, right? This is prior to the season. They also had the NHL champion, and then they have the Dodgers winning the World Series, which I don't think is going to happen in Detroit. If they win all of that, they win over $1 million.
I seen that. Yeah, I seen it too. He had OKC, like you said. No, I remember seeing it. Now he needs. I think he did have the Dodgers, by the way, to win the World Series.
Yeah, he had the Dodgers, but he had the Major League, the NBA right, and he had the NHL right. He's got 2 more pending, and he didn't put a lot of money on it.
He did pick the Eagles to win the Super Bowl too. He did have that.
No, this is this year. He's got Detroit.
Oh,
He's got Detroit and the Dodgers.
okay.
So y'all keep talking for a minute. I'm gonna try to learn how to I'm gonna try to learn how to post it live on YouTube as well because I don't know how to do that yet.
Anyway, so yeah, that 0-5. I'm glad that you went ahead and laid that whole thing down because you made me look good with my 1-4. I mean,
You're welcome. Well, Rich said he went 0-5 last year when he started it.
He's went 0-5 several times. I don't think I've ever went 0-5 yet, but I have went 1-4 a couple of times. So I hope I got that out of the way this past week.
Yeah. But what did you think about when I said that if I was Georgia Tech right now, I'd try to hold the ball as much as possible since Clemson's offense hasn't been clicking?
No, well, I mean, I get what you're saying. Usually when you're the dog, you want to make the game as small as possible or as short as possible. I just don't think that's Georgia Tech's MO. They like to score.
Yeah.
And I think both teams are going to score. You only had – I can't remember who you picked. There was only two that I didn't have a lean towards, and the other three I didn't like.
Yeah.
That Georgia Tech over or under, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just now figured out how to do this. So I am going to send both of y'all. I'm going to link this, and I'm going to send it. Well, let me try this. Hold on, copy. All right, Sean, you're on my Twitter, correct?
I mean, I can be.
No, I mean you follow me, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it on my. Okay, I just posted it just now. So y'all copy that and post it on yours, or repost it, however you want to do it. Now that we're actually starting to know what we're doing a little bit.
I just saw some on Twitter. It says, who on their prime think is a better quarterback, John Elway or Dan Marino?
John Elway all day.
Yeah, I'd go Elway.
Machine. I know it's not all of Marino's fault that he never won anything, but to me, he wasn't good enough in the crunch time.
Some of it was his fault because he wanted to always get offensive players, and some of the things that they did, they couldn't stop other opposing teams. That you can't win that way.
So obviously, we've already said Sean was 0-5 on his picks. I went 4-2 last weekend, 1-2 in college, and 3-0 in the NFL on the picks that I made on the show here. What did you do, Bill? Do you remember?
On the show, I don't remember. I can tell you on Rich's show, I was 1-4. I didn't have a good day because I do remember that I was on Detroit. Obviously, wasn't right. I was also on. Well, I did have the Chargers right. I do know that. I think I only hit one. If I could have hit two, but I don't really remember, to be honest. I didn't do good. It wasn't a good winning percentage.
Last week, going back to, I always like to talk about the betting public. For every game, there were 16 games, obviously. When you had, no team, almost never is it 50-50. So this is for any team that got bet 51% or higher by the public. What do y'all think the against the spread betting public was last week?
How many games were they?
16. All 16 games.
All 16. There was no 50-50s.
No, there almost never is.
Okay. Well, then if that's the case, I know that, but I thought maybe that could have been first week could have been an anomaly. But I would say the public was right 4 times and wrong 12.
You're very, very close. Sean, do you have an idea or a guess?
I wasn't paying attention. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
So
I can tell you. I can tell you what I had because I saved it. I had the Chargers, the Giants, the Browns, the Jets, Atlanta, Indy, and Carolina.
So you went 4-3. You didn't have.
Well, that's all NFL. I had college. I didn't save them. I don't forget what I did. I think I had one. I think the only one I had was Penn State. Remember?
You got to move your camera away from that light, like not point it towards the light. There you go.
Yeah, the only one I had in college was Penn State, which obviously lost.
So you were 4-4 last weekend total. So that's not that bad. I mean, considering it's first couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, I was bad. Well, I mean, you're right. It wasn't bad on the show. It was bad on Richmond's show. I was 1-4. I mean, I was wrong about every freaking thing besides the Chargers.
Did you post that link?
Yeah, I did.
On Twitter. Okay, you just recopied mine. Okay. All right. So Sean, so the betting public, turn your camera on, Sean. What are you doing?
All right, I was reposting the thing.
So it's called the betting public. So anytime a team against the spread gets bet by more than 51%, it's the betting public.
Yeah.
So last week there were 16 games, full slate of action. What do you think the betting public did against the spread last week? The best they could do is 16 and 0. The worst they can do is 0 and 16. Bill said he thinks they won 4 out of the 16 games. What do you think they did?
I'm just gonna say 5 out of 16.
They were 3 and 13 against the spread.
Oh
in week
snap!
one. And which is the worst week since week 5 of the 2022 season, where they also went 3 and 13. So that's a pretty cool.
That doesn't surprise me because the NFL is a different animal, and I know that the guy on what's the name of that Bet Online? I can't remember his name. He posted that they got their rear ends tore up on week 0 and week 1 of college football.
What? This past week? This past year?
Yeah. Week 1 wasn't week. That was week 2 for the college football last week with the pros. So week 0, which was in August, and week 1, which was Labor Day weekend, the Bet Online, the public killed them, and they were getting killed too in the NFL on preseason games too.
So going back to 2017, this last year was the best year for straight up favorites. They were 71.7%, 195 and 77 for favorites last year in the NFL, which is the third best season since 1980. And
what was the percentage?
Almost 72%, straight up.
Wow.
In other words, teams that are favored that won straight up.
No, I know what. Oh yeah, Daddy would have loved that.
Week 1 road favorites last week went 5-1, and the only loss was obviously the Ravens, who had a 15-point fourth quarter lead and lost. Road favorites since the start of last season are 85 and 29 straight up.
Wow.
75% against.
You're talking about NFL, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's good. That's bound to change this year then.
Yeah, exactly, because they always adjust. So,
Sean, your mama's looking. We'll turn your camera back on, dude.
Sorry.
There we go. Are you ready now?
I got it. Yeah, I got it. I got somebody that's going to be with us here soon.
But
I think he's picking your nose.
That's not a guest link. That's only for them to watch. They know that,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So listen to this stat. If the Jets close +7 or higher at home versus the Bills this week, the system triggers. Home dogs of 7 or more points are 18-1-2 against the spread in the first 9 games of the regular season since 2022, and 37-10 against the spread since 2020.
Dang.
Wow.
37-10. That is ridiculous. That's almost 75%. That's almost 80%.
Wait, that's why I was saying what you was talking about with those favorites being so successful last year. That had to be an anomaly.
Yeah, it's not going to happen this year like that. So, I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot of favorites winning, but they will adjust. They didn't adjust until the end of last year. People already tore their ass up by then, but they will adjust. So,
right.
Anyways, let's break down some games. First on the slate tomorrow, Clemson. Of course, everybody wants to talk about the Tigers, the Tigers. So, Sean, you didn't make an official pick on this game. I heard you say the under, which I 100% disagree with, by the way. I'm not making a pick on it, but I don't agree with that. Clemson's offense is going to have to wake up at some point. I
agree with that. That's why I said that Georgia Tech should hold the ball as much as can as possible. So, to keep Cade off the field so the offense doesn't, start getting in sync.
Okay, so how do you see the game going? What is your predicted score? Obviously, these are not picks that we're making official. We're just talking about games. So how do you see this game playing out?
I think Georgia Tech's going to keep it close as much as possible, but I can still see Clemson winning and cover the -3 spread.
Okay, so that's what you officially think is Clemson to win and cover.
Yes.
Okay, and Bill.
Well, are we all going to agree on this? I mean, I picked Georgia Tech on Rich's show. Not Georgia Tech, Clemson. I'm not going to go against that. If Clemson's going to do anything that they, been talking about all year, they have to win this game. And they, I don't think, even if they just win by one, it will get them to the next, to the next game. If they lose, their season is essentially over with all the accolades that they were getting coming into the year. They're not going to be able to hit any of that stuff. They can't win the ACC if they lose this game, because I don't think they're going to lose just this game and not lose another game. The other thing is, I don't think that if they lose this game, not only are they not, Cade Klubnik's not looked good. They were talking about Heisman. I think that's probably done now. I just got a feeling that they're going to right the ship. How many times have we seen this where a team is, ranked really high, they haven't looked good, and everyone's picking one side? That line has came down drastically, and the next thing you know, they come out and just blow them out. I'm not saying they're going to win by 3 or 4 touchdowns, but it would not surprise me if they win by double digits. I think they are.
Well, obviously, this is not an official pick for me because I said it on the air on the radio station today. I don't have an official pick. I did pick Clemson, and I did say their offense was going to right the ship. By the way, Sean, I have no idea where you got your total of 58.5 to go under, because it's 52 and it started at 53. So it's not like.
But it's the I don't know. I think it's at 58.
I think he let it at FanDuel.
Yeah.
I said online. It was never at 58, not even close.
Hang on, let me look at my FanDuel. Hang on.
So it was 52.
Sean, I don't know. I'm hearing feedback, and the last time me and Neil did it, there was no feedback. So if you've got the volume real high, turn it down. It's confusing me.
Here's where I am with this game. I picked Clemson on the radio station, but I'm going to switch that right now. I know about magic numbers in football. I never thought Clemson was going to get bet down to where it's now 2.5 in most places. Vegas usually never goes over a magic number unless there's some real money on one side. Somebody really, really likes Georgia Tech. I think they're seeing something with Clemson that is going to carry over into this week, especially with their offense. I got a funny suspicion Georgia Tech might not just win. I think Georgia Tech might blow Clemson out of the water, honestly.
Well, I don't have a dime on it, and me being a South Carolina fan, I'm kind of pulling for that.
My official prediction is going to be Georgia Tech 31, Clemson 27, but I do think Georgia Tech is going to win this game straight up.
That would not surprise me for 2 reasons. Remember the Georgia game last year? Georgia really screwed Georgia Tech over in that game. I think they outplayed them. So
my official prediction is going to be Georgia Tech.
Sorry.
Clemson is not better than Georgia, so I could see that. And then the other thing is Clemson has not looked good. Now, either they right the ship or they get beat, I think. I don't think there's no two ways about it. And I know there's only, 4 outcomes in a game. The underdog wins and covers. The underdog covers, but the favorite wins. The favorite wins but doesn't cover. And then the underdog, the favorite wins and covers. So, to me, I feel like that. I just think Clemson's going to right the ship. If they lose this game, I think they're losing to Florida State, probably at Louisville and South Carolina.
Well, that's a good leeway to the next game because you mentioned Georgia. So now, obviously, now we can talk about Georgia, Tennessee. Georgia is now a 4-point favorite. It started at 6 and moved down to 4. Some places have it 3.5. I'll start with Bill this time. How do you see this playing out?
I'm sticking with my picks. I didn't try to deviate from what I picked on Rich's show. I think Georgia's going to win. I think they're going to go in there.
When you say that people didn't listen to Rich's show, that's probably going to listen to ours. So you got to.
Well, that's fine. Yeah. Well, I'm going to restate it. I think Georgia's going to win and cover the spread. They've won 8 games for a reason. I'm not as low on Gunnar Stockton as everyone else is. I think he's every bit as good as Carson Beck. I just don't think he's had the chance yet. Now, I know he's on the road, and that crowd can be hostile. But, Aguilar has got to be a little bit nervous in this game, too, and he's not seen a defense not even remotely close to what he's going to see Saturday. So I think Georgia wins and covers.
Sean?
I just want to. Can you actually see these comments live on your YouTube by any chance?
I'm seeing under my studio for Riverside, which is the software that I use, that it's got a chat, but I don't know how to see it yet. So
Okay.
give me a second. Are you the one talking, or is it someone else?
No, I did it under Suan's phone on YouTube, just trying to see that you could actually see it, because I'm getting people to join in on our podcast.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
They can do comments, like, because some of them couldn't download they can download the Riverside app, but I'm just wondering they can see that on comment on YouTube for the people who don't have it.
Okay, when he told you that they can't be guests, what he meant is that they can come and watch the video.
No, I know,
but
they should be available to make a comment on here for it, because
Well, they will be on YouTube, but not on Riverside. Anyway, Sean, go ahead and talk about the Georgia-Tennessee game, what you think is going to happen.
I'll say Georgia wins by 13 points. And it's like what y'all said. Georgia, has beaten Tennessee for the past 8 years.
8 straight.
Yeah. So I mean, definitely Georgia winning and covering the spread.
Well, eventually Tennessee has to beat them again. I just think Georgia's still better.
Right.
I can see it now. Now I got to see if I can. Okay, I'm going to try to. That was Sue Ann, right?
Well, that was me doing that on her phone because I was just curious about something.
Now let's see. There we go. Okay. Do y'all see that?
I see a little blue mark with a 1 at the bottom.
Yeah, I see everyone.
Is you have to go to the top where it says live stream chat, and you got to click the arrow going to the right. And then you will see.
Well, on my phone is different because you see like a chat, like a little chat circle at the bottom of our phone.
And then you just open it and it's right there?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bill would probably be the same.
Yeah, I seen it.
Okay. So this is another game that I did pick it on the radio station. I said, until Tennessee proves that they can beat Georgia, I'm picking Georgia. I'm not going to say anything about the point spread because I don't know what it's going to do there. But until Tennessee proves that they can beat them, I'm taking Georgia. And I will say this too. I said that I wish that the Gators would get Lane Kiffin. If they don't, there's only 2 other guys on my short list, and Josh Heupel's one of them. I think that dude can flat out.
Oh, God. I can't stand him.
He can coach. That boy can put up points against anybody. He can make any quarterback look great, which is hard to do. So, if you're watching, Josh, I'm sure you are. Do me a favor, and if Lane Kiffin turns us down going to the Florida, how about you taking the job, sir? You used to coach down here, down in Florida anyway, so just not at the.
If you couldn't get those 2, there's nobody else on your list that you'd like to have.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, but I think they're going to have a good year too.
The realistic list. Now, if I could just pick anybody, I'd bring Urban Meyer back, obviously, or I would get freaking.
Coach Spurrier?
No,
he's too old. He's going to talk about that other guy that was the offensive coordinator under Meyer.
I'll tell you somebody else who I don't think he would leave his situation now, and I've talked so much crap about him, but I'd love to get Lincoln Riley. My God, put some athletes that Florida could get, and that offense.
There's nobody else that you could see that would be obtainable that you like.
You obviously have somebody in mind, so who is it?
No, I'm asking. I don't. Because I think you're naming people that right now I'm not sure that they want to leave their situation for that. Stoops, yeah, I can see that.
I mean, Bob Stoops. I mean, hell,
what about Mike Stoops?
Who?
Mike Stoops, his brother.
Kentucky.
Yeah. Isn't his name Mike?
No, Mark.
Mark, okay.
No, I wouldn't want him. He's a defensive-minded coach. They don't need another defensive-minded coach. They need somebody that can air it out and that can put points on the board. That's how you get guys to go to places like in Florida where you can play football all year. You want guys that are athletes that they haven't been getting since freaking a long time ago. Dum Dum took over and that was it. They went downhill from there after Urban Meyer took over. Or left.
Do you ever see a scenario where they go after a guy like Dion?
No. I don't think Deion's resume is good enough to go to the University of Florida, and that's the problem they've been having the last however many years since since Urban Meyer left, which is if you don't have the resume, I don't care what you did at Bowling Green, I don't care what you did at some small school. Unless you did it there, then you did it at another small school, and then you went up to the big boy leagues and you did it somewhere big. And he just doesn't have that pedigree. And I don't think he's an X's and O's coach anyways.
Well, then you really put yourself in a box, though, by looking at it that way, because, like I said, why would someone who's successful at a school that maybe is not on Florida's level, but one step down, would want to go take that mess over right now when they're rolling somewhere else?
Okay, so I'll give you a guy that I think would do a good job there. But the only problem is the reason I didn't mention him because he's not an offensive-minded coach, and I don't see anybody going there that are being successful there that is not going to be offensive-minded. That's what Steve Spurrier and that's what Urban Meyer both had. That since both of them left, or since Urban Meyer left, they haven't been able to get anybody else in there that is offensive minded. It's all been damn defensive minded coaches, or either guys that's supposed to be offensive minded that came from small schools that really just they were good offensively because they were playing crap competition. And so I think the biggest deal for them is they have to go out, and I've told you this before, that they have to go out and get somebody that's actually brash, that doesn't mind talking to the media. Somebody like Lane Kiffin. He's my first choice by a mile. But if they are going to go get a guy that's defensive minded, a guy that I would go is I would row the boat with PJ Fleck. What that dude is doing in Minnesota is crazy.
Yeah, I like him.
What he's already done where he was previously. The only problem with him is, once again, he is nothing but defense. It is all defense, trying to win 17-13 every game. I hate that.
And you haven't been successful at Florida the last 35 years doing that, so I get what you're saying. What about the coach at Arizona State?
No.
Okay, have you thought about a coordinator then? Maybe a Ohio State coordinator or someone of that ilk?
No. I think it has to be Florida should be a top 10 program every year. If they go out and get somebody that's unproven, they are not going to come back. The only way for them to come back to where they were is to get somebody with a name. The only other guy that I would even be willing to even consider, and I think he's been away from the game too long now. Oh, there is another guy that I thought of, but another guy that I would, and I've been saying this since they got rid of, since Urban Meyer went to Ohio State, is Chris Peterson. But he's been away from the game for a couple of years now. He's obviously I think he's on Fox Sports now. I don't know.
Thanks, honey. I love you.
I like him a lot, but I don't think he would come out of retirement, and I don't think that he's got a name with the kids anymore where he would go out and just recruit people like he used to when he was with Boise and then when he moved on to the Pac-10. So, but I would.
What about Schiano at Rutgers?
I do like Schiano. I think, once again, he's a defensive-minded coach, and I think he's an asshole, which is a good thing, but I wouldn't want him, no.
Well,
because he's a defensive-minded coach.
Probably the two that I could see the appeal for you with Lane Kiffin. He's like a young version of Steve Spurrier. And I get, Josh Heupel.
Lane Kiffin, if Lane Kiffin came to Florida, within 1 year, the Gators would be a top 5 team every year. What he does wherever he goes is unbelievable because he doesn't go anywhere that they have a tradition, and he is just lights out, freaking unbelievable. And he don't mind talking. He don't mind stating what he thinks, and that's a big thing at the University of Florida. Because a lot of those fans and stuff are very conservative, and that's one thing I can't stand about them. I'll tell you somebody else who I like is Kyle Whittingham for Utah.
Yeah, but he's sort of a hard-nosed, defensive guy, like you was talking about.
He reminds me a lot of a couple of guys they've brought in already. So, yeah, that's another reason I didn't bring him up at first. So.
You know one that Walt always talks about that he says it reminds him so much of a younger Steve Spurrier is Eli Drinkowitz.
He's all right. I like him. I wouldn't be mad if they got – I wouldn't be, terribly upset if they got him. I just don't think he's ready for that situation yet.
But see, I can see him leaving Missouri for Florida. I just don't know about Heupel.
The problem with that is it's easy to win at a place that you aren't supposed to win.
Right.
when your
No,
expectations.
I get the expectations are going to be much higher at Florida, and it's a harder job because their schedule year in and year out. Even though they're both in the SEC, go look at the OOCs for Florida as compared to the OOCs from Missouri. It's a completely different animal. So I get what you're saying. I don't disagree with it. But like Heupel, I can see why you and other Florida fans would want him or Lane Kiffin. But why would they leave their situation to go there? Because you can theoretically say right now that Tennessee's a better program than Florida is, and I'm definitely sure right now Lane Kiffin is better than at Ole Miss.
I mean, Lane Kiffin has Ole Miss as a perennial top 20 team now. That's Ole Miss.
Exactly.
And I don't remember because I ain't that old, but yeah, I know you've been watching football 5 or 6 years longer than me, but I don't remember Ole Miss ever being a powerhouse and being
they've had
in the top 10 every year. They have been since Lane Kiffin got there.
They have had periods of time where they were a powerhouse, but it'd be a 3 to 5 year period and then they'd fall off again. But you can say that even about some of the most storied, programs in all of college football. I mean, on those shows that I do with on Twitter, we talk about that all the time. I've made the case that, everybody talks about Alabama, and if you look at their history, no doubt is 1, 2, 3, top 5 at the worst as far as college football, history goes. But they still have had their down years too.
Yeah,
so
that's just it, though. When you start talking about Florida, it's just like Texas. It's just like Oklahoma. It's just like Alabama. They have top 5, top 7 booster money, and they've got Gatorade, which get so much money from every year. They can afford to go get whoever the hell they want, and to go out and get guys like Billy Napier is what makes no sense to me, and that's why I'm about to become a fucking Carolina fan, because this is ridiculous, honestly. Anyways, let's go to the next game. Talking about the Gators, traveling to Baton Rouge tomorrow night at 7:30. I'll go first here as a Florida fan. I've been watching this line go. I was thinking at first Florida would maybe go down there and upset them, maybe go down there and keep it close. LSU hasn't looked good offensively at all. I didn't care what people told me about your buddy Walt Deptula talking about Clemson just played a top 3 team. I said they didn't. Neither Clemson or LSU is a top 10 team to me. Forget top 3, but not even a top 10 team. However, the only thing that I think saves Florida's ass in this game is that Billy Napier has always found a way after they lose a game they shouldn't to somehow keep a game close or upset a team. I think that's one of the reasons the line moved down to 7, but I also think it's somebody sharp that is trying to get it down to 7 so they can hammer
it up. Right.
I have a funny suspicion either Florida is going to go down there and upset them straight up, or more likely they are going to go down there and get their ass beat, which is what I'm leaning towards here. I think Napier might get fired as early as Monday. I don't think it's going to be because of Nussmeier, and I don't think it's going to be because of LSU's offense. Sean, do me a favor. When you're doing a live, dude, you can't be sitting there talking to Sue Ann.
I'm not.
Okay. I think Florida's going to go down there, and I think LSU's defense is going to be able to hold Florida down to 14 or less, and I think LSU comes out of there with a pretty easy win. I'm going to say LSU 28, Florida 13, and if you look back at last year's game, Florida won by 11 points, I believe, but LSU first down them 25-13, I believe it was. It was something almost double to 1. It was a mirage. It ain't going to happen this year. I think Florida easily. Sean?
Yeah.
Billy, you go ahead. I don't know what he's doing.
Okay. Well, I went and looked just out of curiosity because we was doing the SEC show the other night, and
got it.
If I'm not mistaken, LSU was 7-3 straight up, but only 4-6 against the spread. Now, some of those cases where Florida was the favorite and won the game, but didn't cover the spread, so that changes, the how you look at it a little bit. But I just think that Florida always plays teams like LSU. That's if I'm not mistaken. You tell me if I'm.
Did he freeze for you, Sean?
Yeah, he was talking about LSU's going 7-3, then he broke up.
Yeah, he froze on me. Go ahead and tell me what you think is going to happen in that Florida LSU game, Sean.
I'm going to say, Ann over here, since she said don't talk to my wife, I am going to talk to my wife. But no, all jokes aside. But no, I can talk to my wife. But anyways,
You can,
with
but
the LSU and Florida game, what you talking about? Like the history or like
what's going to
what?
happen tomorrow night? What do you think? What do you think's going to happen? Who do you think's going to win? How do you think is going to get there?
I mean, Florida. With how the offensive linemen played against South Florida, man, it's like I know you love your Gators, but dude, with those blitzes that they were sending Clemson, you don't think they're going to do that same thing this whole year?
I mean, Florida didn't play well last week, but one of the things I'm going to teach you that you need to learn. Now, this has nothing to do with Florida tomorrow. I've already told you I think they're going to get beat pretty bad, but you need to learn that one week has nothing to do with the next week.
No, I know. No, I get
A
that.
good team plays and then they don't play good. They usually bounce back and play good the next week, and it's the opposite when the team overplays what they should.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, you were talking about how the offensive linemen just let, people just run over them where the average weight is like 320 pounds, and those some big boys up front. And how LSU was just, sending blitzes like they are. They need to give Lagway enough time to throw the ball to his receivers.
Well, first of all, LSU is not going to play the same defense that they played against Clemson, if that's what you're referring to. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, well, yeah, but I'm saying I get it. It was against Clemson. They can have a different defensive scheme. I understand that.
There it is.
But I'm just saying, like, how the offensive lineman has played with, for Florida recently.
So
You
what do
think the offensive
what do
line?
you think the score is going to be?
What, between LSU and Florida?
Is it that not the game we're talking about?
Yeah, it is. I'm just playing. Jeez.
Go ahead. What's the score? Who wins and by how much?
Say,
Taking care of business. Who is KGC? Is that one of your buddies?
yeah.
Okay. Hey, as a Florida fan, I don't deny it, sir. So if you're a sir, if you're a ma'am, sorry, but I hope if they win, they're going to go ahead and take care of business the right way. So we get Napier fired.
All right. The score, I tell you what, I'll say 27-10.
LSU.
Yeah.
Okay, I could definitely see that. Bill.
I'm going higher. I'm going to go like 31-27, 31-24, something like that. I think it's going to be relatively close. Florida finds a way to keep these games close a lot of times, especially since Billy Napier's been there.
I think the only thing that saves Florida from getting blown out, if they don't, is, like I said, they lost to South Florida last week at home. Last year, they beat LSU 27-16. They were out first downed 25-13, I believe. I looked it up earlier. And before last year, they had lost to LSU as far as the point spread 5 straight times. So I just got a funny suspicion somebody's trying to get that line where they want it, and they're going to hammer it now that it's at 7. I don't think Billy Napier's magic is going to continue this week. I think that he's going to end up getting their brains beat in, and I think he's going to be on his way out of Florida. So next game, we'll get to South Carolina last. That big Duke Tulane game. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Give me Duke.
You guys, all right.
Duke.
Texas A&M and Notre Dame. Bill, you start this time.
Ooh.
I think both teams are going to score, and I just don't think nobody goes in out to Notre Dame and wins at South Bend outside of Ohio State a couple of years ago on the last freaking play, essentially. So I think they're both. I watched some replays of that Miami game, and you're right. That Carr kid looks like he's the real deal. He was going through his progressions. They've got a good offensive line in front of them. This is a big game for them. So I know that they went and beat Texas A&M last year, so it's a bit of a revenge spot for A&M. I just don't see A&M going to touchdown Jesus and winning. Give me Notre Dame. I would say like 38, 28, something like that.
Oh, Sean?
I just want to say that if this game was like somewhere around November, I'll say Notre Dame wins big time. But since it's tomorrow's game, I will pick Notre Dame to win. Let's have Jeremiah Love for 100 yards and 1 tutty.
So why do you say that if it was in November you would pick Notre Dame, but you think it's going to be
Cold weather?
Because it's in September? Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a way to look at it. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But that's true, Sean. There's only one thing. You obviously haven't been to Texas in the summertime, so this is going to feel like cold weather to them.
What temperature are they going to say? Because today here it's been 80 degrees.
Well, it may be, but that's really, really cold for Texas like this time of the year. I mean, they can still hit 100 out there.
So I'm going to wait on this one. We're ready to get to our college picks. This is one of my picks. This is my first 2-unit play in either NFL or college football. So we'll get back to that one in a minute. We'll go over this last one, and I'll go first on this one because I know both of you are Carolina fans. Vanderbilt coming to town to South Carolina. Okay, look, South Carolina has been unimpressive, to say the least, offensively.
Right.
Defense has been
That's fair.
I thought they were going to be, but their offense has not got it going. And I told you guys both this before the year. The one thing I'd be worried about as a Carolina fan, Lenore Sellers last year didn't prove that he could throw the ball
Right.
and to make good decisions. Sometimes your athleticism overwhelms that, and you become a superstar even with that being said. But when defensive coordinators have 1 year to look at your film and figure you out, and they take away your first or second options, they've taken away his run game because they know he's explosive in the run game. So they're spying him almost every single play now. Now you're making him a pocket passer. I don't know if Vanderbilt has the defense in order to hold him down or not. I'm going to go with Bill here because he knows the team and he's already told me who he thinks what's going to happen. I'll let him get to that in a minute. So I'm going to also agree with Bill. I think Carolina wins, but I think it's by about 1 or 2 points. If I were a betting man, and I am, I would take Vandy, even though I'm not making that an official pick. Sean? And I think it's going to be very low scoring, by the way, because I don't see Lenore Sellers being the same as he was last year. I'm hoping, as a fan of him, that he proves me wrong tomorrow night.
All right. What was it? I mean, I truly believe that against, like you're talking about Sellers, against the bowl game last year with Illinois against South Carolina, I'm sure a lot of teams are going to play that way where they're going to force Sellers to throw the ball and not try to beat them with his legs. You know, not really trying to pass rush him or anything, just keep him in the pocket as much as possible. But what I do believe is that if South Carolina can get a good running game going with their running back, it should open up things with Sellers.
Do you think that's going to happen?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's still like beginning of the year, but I hope so. But this is what I do know. What's that quarterback's name? Ravelo? Is that how you say his name?
Who?
Ravelo.
Pavia.
How you say? What's his name?
Pavia.
Pavio?
Yes.
Oh, Pavio. I was thinking Ravio. Don't get me wrong. I got Ravio in my name is Pavio. Well, they were doing an interview with him, and he said that since like last year that he has had that game circled because he wants revenge against South Carolina.
Okay, well, guess I've heard that so many times now. They were talking about that on the radio station today, and I got one thing to say about that. That's all good. It's all great until the game starts.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody's got a plan. You know the old Mike Tyson saying, "Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth."
Exactly. So,
but I'm gonna tell you one thing, boy. This South Carolina pass rush defense, he's in for a handful with Stewart.
So, what's your official prediction?
I agree with y'all. I'm gonna say it's a low scoring game. It's definitely gonna be old smash mouth football. Give me we'll say 20-13, South Carolina.
Okay, Bill.
So yeah, I don't think it's going to be low scoring. I think they're both going to score. I'm hoping, first of all, that South Carolina's been very vanilla because they had to be, or they didn't have to be because they could be. But I'm also hoping that if that's the case, that they don't have to be anything, they don't have to be extravagant against Vanderbilt, even though I don't think this is the same Vanderbilt that everyone else seems to continue to imply in South Carolina Nation and Gamecock Nation. That worries me. Whenever you see so many people being complacent, then they usually get bit. And I've seen so many people on my Twitter feed, oh, we're 30-4 against them. We beat them last year. We're supposed to be competitive. They had just been competitive with Texas and beaten Alabama.
I agree with that,
This, to me, is a different animal. And I've got a bad feeling. To me, it contends us upon, it doesn't matter if Sellers plays well because we don't know that he hadn't played well in the last two games. The offensive line's been horrendous. They had no running support because they didn't run block well and they didn't pass block particularly well. They have to get what's wrong right at the line of scrimmage. If they do that, then South Carolina will probably win by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I'm not sure that they're going to.
And I've got a bad feeling. The reason that Pavia picked this game is because he feels like that they were probably better in that game last year. And a couple of bad plays happened. There was one where Sellers got free, threw the ball to a wide open guy. I don't know. If you go back and look at that play, it's amazing. Not everybody can do that. There's only a few people probably on earth that can. So, he broke one tackle, broke another tackle, and then there was a guy wide open for about 40 or 50 yards. And that changed the whole complexity of the game. And then on top of that, both defensive ends, it wasn't just, what's his name, Sean? Stewart.
Yeah.
What was the other guy that they had that went to the NFL that was from Georgia Tech that one year?
Let me think. Kyle
He's no longer
Kennard.
there.
I think it's Kyle Kennard or Keith Kennard.
No, Kennard. You're right. He's no longer there. And I am so worried that Pavia is going to come in there. I think Pavia is going to eat tomorrow night. And I think South Carolina's going to have to score to keep up. I honestly think South Carolina's going to probably lose. I hope that I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be like 31-30, 31-35, and I'm picking Vanderbilt. I hope and pray to God that I'm wrong, because if they lose that game, then they're going to be looking at 6-6 square in the face.
So, one thing about Pavia, back when he was at New Mexico State, he won me a hell of a lot of money after I had seen him a couple of times. His numbers aren't like going to jump off the stats sheet, but I know I'm looking at them now. In his last year there, he had 26 touchdowns throwing on to only 9 picks, so that's almost 3-1. And he had another seven touchdowns on the ground. And considering it's New Mexico State, that's still impressive. Camden just said, oh, okay. He just said that he thinks that Vandy wins 21-17, and he thinks LSU wins 31-10. So now that we've gone through all of them, we go ahead and go through our picks for this weekend in college. Sean, do you remember your picks on the radio show?
Hey, by the way, one more quick thing about Sellers. I'm not sure that he's even tried to run really yet. I think they tried to hold that back. I hope they don't have to have him. If they're listen, one of two things is going to happen with Vanderbilt. Either they're for real, which they may be. Vandy may be for real this year. I do think they're better than people think. They're definitely going to be bowl eligible. I could see them winning 7, 8, 9 games this year. They have to beat South Carolina in order to achieve that. South Carolina's in the same boat, though. If they want to get to 9 wins or better, they're going to have to win this game. I see no scenario where they beat Vandy or lose to Vandy and then get to 9 games. They could get to 7 or 8, but they're not getting to 9. So it's a must win. But if South Carolina's in the boat where they need Sellers to go out there and be Superman, and he is, and they win the game, then like what I was trying to say a second ago is that means one of two things: either Vanderbilt's really good or South Carolina's in trouble,
or both.
Yeah, it could be both. But I think that Vandy's for real. I believe that.
I don't think that yet. If they win tomorrow night, then I'll have to start saying that I do believe that they're for real, because even though I'm down on South Carolina right now, I still think South Carolina is a very good competition for them, and they have beaten their brains in for 17 straight times or something stupid like that.
Yeah, it's not even been, most of those games have not even been close. They've won, by double digits in most of those games, and they've been ugly. So, even last year, Vanderbilt wasn't a bad team last year, and they went over to Nashville and just beat the living crap out of them on their home field. So, but I'm worried about it. I'm just worried about the complacent. Clemson, Clemson fans are complacent. Alabama fans are complacent. Georgia fans are complacent. South Carolina fans are coming in complacent in this game, and that really worries me.
Well, the fans don't play the game, so that's not going to change anything. Camden
I agree with that.
South Carolina's going 8-4 if they don't win this game, by the way.
But listen, the problem with that is that you're talking about them being complacent. The fan base is a microcosm of what's going on on the football team. That's why I think that matters.
It could also very well be that South Carolina hasn't opened up anything yet because they haven't had to. Let's be honest.
Listen, I definitely agree with that. That's what I'm hoping. But see, what I'm also hoping is if that's the case, they're not going to open nothing up against Vanderbilt, and they can still win, because you don't want to have to open anything up against Vanderbilt. If you do, then you're not in a national contender race.
I see you're okay. So I see what you're saying. Well, I can tell you, looking at the head-to-head, South Carolina has dominated this series, not only winning
Yep.
the game, but they've covered let's see, 8 out of the last 9 games that they've played. So, and one was a
Yeah, it's
push.
been ugly. It's been ugly.
So,
And the one thing that gives me solace is that South Carolina does not lose that much outside of Clemson. They do not lose that much at home. They just don't. So, I mean, Texas A&M came in there last year and they were riding high, and South Carolina just kicked their rear ends. They've had other instances like that where they play teams who's not, routine coming into Columbia and winning. So they have a real home field advantage. If South Carolina gets down early, it'll be interesting to see how that crowd reacts.
yeah, if Vanderbilt gets a lead, I think South Carolina's in trouble. I think South Carolina has to
Yep.
stay with 7 points,
Yep.
or I think it could be in trouble. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be close the whole game.
I agree with that too.
Winning 23-21. I think South Carolina wins, but I think it's by the slimmest of margins. I think Vandy covers. So, but that's not an official pick. So, speaking of official picks, Sean, college football.
All right,
Turn your mic on. Turn your camera on. Let's go.
I can't. I'm on FanDuel right now.
Forget FanDuel. Well, you tell me what you like, and I'll tell you the spread. No
Okay.
problem.
All right, Wisconsin and Alabama.
You're taking who?
Wisconsin with the points.
They're getting 20.5. Next.
That's what it says on FanDuel too.
Don't worry about FanDuel. Turn your camera on. I know every line. Don't worry.
All right, Oregon and Northwestern.
Turn your camera on.
Oregon and Northwestern.
What are you taking? The over, under, or the point spread?
The over at 48.5.
48.5 is what it still is right now. I hate that pick, by the way.
I just picked that because I don't think whoever I forgot who they play. Who they play?
Like crazy the first 2 weeks. Let's be honest, and they could continue it, but Northwestern is going to try their best to make this as sloppy and as ugly as they can. I'm not saying it's going to be a loser. You could easily. The Oregon could end up with 49 themselves. I just don't like it. So go ahead.
I just know how Oregon always the same Oregon University. They always want to run no huddle and score as fast as they can.
Oregon's
Everybody doesn't play the same way every week, though, Sean. You can't get up for every game.
I don't know if you saw one of the reasons why they scored so many points last week against Oklahoma State. But first of all, Mike Gundy came out and run his big mouth. And then second of all, right before tip-off, about an hour before the game started, Oklahoma State's players was in the locker room literally making a video of themselves dancing around in the locker room, like making some kind of little thing about, talking shit, dancing. That was the reason why Oregon put up all those points last week. They're not going to have that same motivation this week. Not saying that they're not going to put up points, but anyways, Go ahead. Next.
The under of Georgia Tech and Clemson.
The under is 52, okay.
South Florida and Miami.
Which one? Or what are you taking in that?
The point spread for South Florida.
17.5, okay. Do you think they have any chance to win straight up? Sean, turn your camera on.
No.
Turn your camera on, dude.
I don't know. Well, I'm trying to look at the picks that I did.
You don't remember them?
No.
My God, dude.
No.
All right, go ahead.
That's what I have on camera for.
Bill, give me your college picks while he's getting his.
I already got it right here.
Mine.
Go ahead, Sean.
South Carolina 3.5.
Do you think they're going to cover that? So you think
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they win by 6 at least.
Okay, that's fair. I could see that.
And then that's all of my college picks.
All right, turn your camera back on, please.
All right.
Bill.
Yeah, my college picks was I'm taking Clemson -3. I think they're going to win that game probably by a touchdown or more. I'm also taking Vanderbilt. I think they're going to win straight up. I hope that I'm freaking wrong, but I just got a bad feeling about it. But I definitely love them with the points. What was the point spread? 3.5?
Which game?
3.5, yeah.
Vandy.
Yeah,
Vandy.
3.5.
2.5 to 3 depends. You got it today on the radio station, so we'll give you 3. But it's down to 2.5 at a lot of the books now.
Yeah, well, when I seen it, it was 3.5, so I'll go with that. And then the other one I've got to look and see because I've done forgot, honestly.
So I'll go ahead and give mine now. I've got 3 picks.
Georgia.
Georgia.
I like Georgia big time. They're -3.5. I'll take that all freaking
Yeah,
day.
I remember you saying that on the Rich show.
Yeah, I think they're going to go in there and probably win by a touchdown or more, maybe big.
So I got 3 picks in college. I got Texas State and Arizona State to go over 60.5.
I could see that.
They played last year. Arizona State came from behind and ended up beating them by 3 points. But Texas State is going to score some points. I just don't know if they can keep up with Arizona State, but I think it's going to be a high scoring. Same time slot. Minnesota travels to California. I almost made this a 2-unit play too, but I ended up backing out because the total's so low. But I'm going to take the unders, 42.5. It's at 41.5 now, but I got it at 42.5. I just don't see either team scoring more than 21 points, to be honest.
What's the point spread, by the way? How many points is
They got bet up to 3. Minnesota's favored by 3.
and this is
Who were they
against
playing? I forgot.
yeah.
California.
Yeah. Well, on the show I picked California to be nice, but I like Minnesota in that game.
Yeah,
So
I picked Minnesota too.
I think it's going to be 20-10, something like that. And then my last pick in college football, which is the first 2-unit play for me in any football this year, is going to be the Texas A&M Notre Dame game. Look, you almost never do you see Notre Dame's lines, the totals moving up, because Marcus Freeman is a hell of a defensive coach. He loves to run the ball, keep the other team off the field. It only moved up 1.5 points, but I liked it before it did that, and I like it even more now. Texas A&M is going to put up a couple points against Notre Dame tomorrow night. They just ain't going to put up enough. Notre Dame is going to rock their world. I don't like Notre Dame minus the 6.5. That's a weird number to me. I think if it was 7.5, Notre Dame would be the play of the week for me. But I love the over here. It's 50.5. It started at 49. I think Texas A&M is going to lose, and I think they're going to lose pretty handily. And I think they're going to score at least 21. I think Notre Dame is going to roll. I think Notre Dame is going to put up 40-plus points on Texas A&M tomorrow night. So I take over 50.5. I think it's going to be easy money. So we'll see. Let's get to
I like both of those.
Houston is up 16-14 at halftime, by the way, over Colorado. Arizona and Kansas State has just kicked off. They're 6 minutes in, no score. So let's get to the NFL. A couple of games we'll go over real quick, and then we'll go over if we got any picks on this. A couple of the big games, or I guess you could say semi-big games. Jacksonville at Cincinnati. Any thoughts from either one of you guys?
I'll take Cincinnati. I think they'll probably win the game.
Sean?
It's gonna be crazy. I kind of want to take Jacksonville because I heard about their pass rushing lately with what's his name, Walker, and how they've been getting to the quarterback, and how Cincinnati doesn't have a really good offensive line.
Wait, hold on. When you say lately, they played one game. You can't really go by last year.
No, I know, but I'm just talking about like with their pass rushers that they have with Walker and stuff, and how they said they're getting to the quarterback.
Yeah, but you said lately. You going by just the Carolina game only? I believe Carolina might just be crappy.
Yeah, that could be true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, how good is Jacksonville's secondary? Who do they even have at corner and safeties?
Jacksonville's going to be up and down all season. I can tell you that right now. They got a win last week. We don't know how good they are because they played Carolina.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Cincinnati's going to win the game. Cincinnati is putting a premium on these early season games because the last couple of years that they haven't made the playoffs, what was the reason why? It's because they started out bad at the beginning of the year. They got lucky as hell. They got outplayed last week. Neil, you was all over that one. I give you credit for that with Cleveland. But Cincinnati, to their credit, they found a way to hold on and win in a situation they shouldn't have. And then on top of that, they got lucky because Baltimore, I know you love Baltimore, Neil, and I don't hate them. But Baltimore, outplayed Buffalo and still ended up losing. That's one already they're up with. I just feel like that Cincinnati's putting a premium on these early season games. I think Cincinnati's better. I think they're better at quarterback. I think they're going to find a way to win.
I think they find a way to win, too. I don't know.
What's the point spread with Cincinnati and Jacksonville?
It started at 6, and it's 3.5 now. If I was going to play this game, I'd take Cincinnati on the money line. I do see a scenario where Jacksonville gets a backdoor cover and still loses, kind of like Cleveland did last week. That wasn't a backdoor cover, but it was a cover.
Right.
Yeah, I think Bill's right. I think they're tired of hearing people talk about how over the last 5 years since they've had Joe Burrow, how they've started the first 2 games. And it's true. I mean, it's a good stat. But I don't believe in Jacksonville's offense. I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence. Cincinnati's defense isn't very good. I saw that last week against Cleveland, so I wouldn't pick it. If I was going to pick it, it would be Cincinnati on the money line. But this is a very interesting game because if Jacksonville were to go in there and go up 2-0, then all of a sudden we have to look at them differently. Until that happens, I'll stick with Cincinnati.
What's the over and under in that game?
49.
I think it's probably going to be a higher scoring game, and I like Cincinnati to win the game.
Do too.
I would not take them with the 3.5 because of the hook. Although you know what that means, Neil. The books are just begging you to take that hook. That means they think Cincinnati's going to win and cover. That's what that means. So
No, it started at 6. It actually got.
okay. It didn't start at 3.5. I missed that. Either way, I would probably bet it. I wouldn't even touch the money line because I don't think buying a half a point or a point is going to be that big of a deal. I would probably buy a half a point or a point and expect them to win by 3 points.
So Camden said he's chiming in and he thinks Jacksonville's going to win that game straight up. So good for you, Camden. We'll see what happens on Sunday. Did you guys see what Grant Delpit said about tackling Derrick Henry?
No.
They asked him. He's a defensive player for the Browns. They asked him, how hard is it to tackle Derrick Henry, or how hard is it to bring him down? He said not hard at all.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. What are you trying? What are you trying to do? Get run over? Did he watch the Buffalo game? I mean, my God.
So I normally wouldn't talk about this game because it's a 12-point favorite. But what do y'all see happening in this Cleveland-Baltimore game?
You know what? I think it's going to be relatively close. I like Cleveland's defensive line.
Sean?
I would agree with that. I like their defensive lineman too.
Garrett is a problem.
Myles Garrett is basically like when we had Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was like the best, and then now right behind him it was Myles Garrett. Now I think Myles Garrett's number one.
Well, I liked Baltimore going into this game to start with. I don't like them coming off that huge loss that they had last week against Buffalo because usually teams don't rebound that quickly, especially when they're given this many points. But I liked them to begin with. But when this dumbass comes out and starts talking junk about Derrick Henry, I got a funny suspicion that, and by the way, we've seen 20 teams since 2003 close as a double-digit favorite within their own division in the first 2 games of the regular season. Those teams are only 8-20 against the spread, 8-12 against the spread. However, when they're at 11-plus points, which means taking out the 10 and the 10.5, they're 5-3 against the spread. I don't know how much that's going to matter, but I love those stats. Those are the Mark Lawrence kind of stats. But
never lost situation
is about to roll. What I saw from Cleveland last week was impressive. They played exactly how I thought they were going to play. They had some plays that they missed. They got down and should have easily kicked the field. They missed a field goal. They missed an extra point. But I got a feeling Baltimore's about to show up because of what happened to them last week, and I think Baltimore is about to go big on Cleveland's candy ass. I think it's going to be 21 at halftime and get uglier after that.
So we're going to say Derrick Henry over 100 yards with 2 tutties?
I think the whole team is going to shine, including the defense this week. Giving up all those points to Buffalo late like that, I know Harbaugh is going to have their defense ready. It's not an official pick. I'm not picking them officially, but I just think that's what's going to happen. So, all right. Next game, I'm trying to go over just what I consider to be the big games, or either.
I'll take the backdoor cover in that.
So Buffalo traveling to
Jets.
New York to play the Jets. Who wants to start?
Go ahead, Dad.
I will. I know. I already heard your pick on Rich's show earlier, so I know you're going with the Jets, and I understand the reason why. I think Buffalo wins. I don't know about the point spread.
Sean?
I want to say the over because Buffalo, as they said, don't really have a defense.
Yeah, but they got a Superman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you think it's going to go more than 47.5?
Yeah.
All right. So, but what do you think who do you think is going to win, and who do you think is going to cover the spread?
I mean, I feel like Buffalo.
It's a 6.5 to 7 point spread.
Yeah. I pick Buffalo to win on the money line. Yes, but when it comes to spread, I would take the Jets to cover.
But you think Buffalo wins straight up?
Yeah, and I'll say Jets will cover the 6.5.
And you think it's going to be another high-scoring game?
Yes.
So I saw a stat earlier, and I'm trying to find it now. Last week, the Jets in Pittsburgh, they had a total of 39.5. They went over that by 20-something points. 66, though. They went over it by about 28 points.
Goodness.
About 27.5 to 28. Depends on if you take the hook or not. I saw a stat earlier that when two teams, I think I just found it. Hold on.
I know that at halftime in that Pittsburgh Jets game, they were 2 points away from being on the total and a field goal away from being over it at halftime.
So
It was.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead and do your stat.
The Steelers may have won last week, but their defense got torched, allowing 32 points versus the Jets. Under Mike Tomlin, the Steelers are 28-11 against the spread the week after allowing 30-plus points on the defensive side. This is not the stat I was talking about. It talked about how when the two teams come out and go over the point spread, when they have a total less than 40 and they go over the point spread by that much, that the following week they are literally like 70% to the under the following week because they come back down to earth, their offenses and their defenses shine the next week because that's all they practice it, during the week, during their the Monday through Saturday or whatnot. So it was a pretty cool stat. I can't find it right now. If I see it in a minute, I'll tell you guys. But I have a pick on this. It's the Jets. I like the Jets. I got them at +7. I think the Jets not only cover the spread, I think they win the game. Look, Buffalo's got the best player in the NFL. I don't think there's any question about that at this point. The dude does everything for that team. I mean, I don't. You can argue and you can put somebody else tied with him, but to put somebody else in front of him, I don't care how many Super Bowls Patrick Mahomes goes to, unless he starts doing it by himself without Andy Reid and without a defense. Josh Allen is ridiculously good. He is starting to now not make the same stupid mistakes that he used to. But I like the Jets here for a couple of reasons. I like them not only to cover but to win because, first of all, their defense allowed 34 last week against Aaron Rodgers. And which obviously Pittsburgh's offense is going to be better this year by light years because they not only got him, but they got DK Metcalf, which is a guy that's hard to stop vertically down the field. But their defense is going to show up. Sauce Gardner is iffy. We don't know if he's going to play. If he does, that's even better. Buffalo's weapons are not nearly as good as Josh Allen makes them. And I think the Jets could slow them down. And I could see a scenario where the Jets upset Buffalo because of the fact Buffalo's coming off that big win, now having to travel on the road in the division. Even if not, I do like the points here plus the 7. So let's see.
One more quick thing about Josh Allen. I was listening to Colin Cowherd when I was driving around through the week, and he made I forgot who he had. He had one of them quarterback brothers that played at Seattle for a while. Do you know who I'm talking about, Neil? There was a couple of them, and one of them played at Seattle.
Would you say it again now?
He was a quarterback, and him and his brother was both in the NFL, and he played in Seattle.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that the two
Hasselbeck.
Oh, you're talking about a quarterback. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
quarterbacks. Yeah, so Hasselbeck was on there, and they were talking about Josh Allen, and Colin Cowherd made the statement that he said, well, Josh Allen constantly does more with less than anybody else in the NFL. And he says, I know Mahomes has got 3 rings, but he's also got Andy Reid. And then he said, Josh Allen's got, what's their coach's name? I forget. That's how good he is. McDermott, right. And then he said, Brady had, God almighty, how the hell is it? Belichick. And then he said Montana had, Bill Walsh.
Yep.
And so he said, he constantly is asked to do more because his franchise doesn't have the pieces that the other franchises does, and he doesn't have the coaching around him that the other guys do. But he swore up and down, and I tend to agree with this. If you switch Allen with Mahomes, I'm not sure that anything changes. I think he still wins those 3 Super Bowls.
I don't think so, but it's not because I don't think he's as good as Mahomes. It's because in that time frame, Josh Allen had a bad tendency to make stupid choices and stupid decisions. He was young. He was immature. He's not doing that now. Now, if you put this Josh Allen in those 3 games, I agree. But before he did make
but you don't think Reid would have been a good influence on Allen to help him not make those mistakes?
He could have been, yes. I mean, that could have been a difference maker. I never thought about that, him putting him as far as Andy Reid, as far as Josh Allen's coach. Maybe he didn't make those same decisions that he made, but there was some, especially the one that sticks out was a couple of games. That one against Cincinnati a couple of years ago, I was just like, what is this dude doing? wide open dudes over the middle, and he's trying to throw it 60 yards down the field.
Yeah,
like
well,
every
no,
single
and he
play.
had one against Kansas City where he had a guy underneath. He could have checked it down, and it would have been a first down. They probably would have won the game, but he threw it into the end zone. I mean, he does that sometimes, but I just feel like, Chris Collinsworth, that one throw that he hit, that guy was covered. He threw across his body, hit him right on the mark, and he led him. And nobody else has the arm strength. Not Josh Allen. Chris Collinsworth I know you watched that game, Neil, because you was the one that alerted me to what was going on. I turned it back on. Chris Collinsworth, I know you remember that play, made the statement, there's nobody else in the NFL that could have made that throw. Maybe not just now, but ever.
I heard him say that.
And the one thing about Josh Allen that I saw that was different, they had the ball with about 6 or 7 minutes to go, down by 15. They were on third down. Instead of throwing it up for grabs, he took the sack. Now, on that specific play, I would probably have rather him just throw it up because at that point, it looked like he would lose no matter what. But he finally did something smart, and I saw the difference right there. That was just a different Josh Allen. He didn't try to go above what he should. And to me, that's going to be the difference with him going forward. I think he's not going to make those same decisions. So let's go to New York and Dallas. Dallas started at, Dallas started as a 3-point favorite. They're up to 5.5 now. I'll go first here. I got a couple of stats on this, got a couple of things on this that you guys are going to like before you pick on this. Since 2020, the Giants are 57-28 to the under against the spread. That is 67%, which is the next closest team in the NFL as far as return on investment is the Falcons, and they're only 50-35. The Giants' return on investment to the under is 28%. The next closest one is 13% for the Falcons and then 12% for the Saints. That's a pretty cool stat. In the first 2 months of the regular season, the under is 15-1 in Giants home games. That's incredible. That is unbelievable. And 21-2 since 2019, which is even just as much unbelievable. And here's a stat about y'all's boy. I know y'all know most of this. Prescott has excelled against the NFC East. He is 30-12 against the spread against the NFC East, covering the spread by almost a touchdown per game, which is insane. When you start talking about more than 2 or 3 points against the spread, when you start talking about all these numbers, that's crazy. Since 2003, the most profitable quarterback against division foes would be Aaron Rodgers, and then Dak would be
Prescott.
number 2.
Yep.
And if you go by percentage, it's Dak by a mile, way better than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers just had a bunch more games, so the return on investment was better or whatnot. But and as far as Dak, this is the craziest thing. So when he plays bad teams, he is 32-16 against the spread against teams under 500. When he plays a team above 500, it goes from him being 32-16 against the spread to all of a sudden, do what?
Well, I'm just laughing because I know what's going to happen.
He goes to 19-35 against the spread.
I knew it. I freaking called it.
Oh, barely, not even 40%. So look, Giants is definitely going to be below 500 this year.
Yep.
Dallas is definitely better than I thought they were going into the season, at least after one game. Obviously, they're going to miss Micah Parsons at some point. This ain't going to be that point. I would not bet on this game, but if somebody gave me free money, I'm taking Dallas all day. This is where Dak shines. This is probably where he's going to sign on Sunday, too.
You probably going to say they're going to cover the spread, too?
Dallas 28, Giants 13. Sean?
Yeah, I'll definitely will pick Dallas to cover the 4.5. No, wait, what is it? 4.5? What's the point spread?
It's 5.5 now, but I heard you picked it today. You got it at 4.5. I heard you on the radio. So.
Yeah, I'll say 4.5, and I'll pick Dallas, and I'll say Dallas wins. Let me think of the score.
So, what do you think? It's going to be more offensive or more defensive? Do you think they're going to win because of Dak and the offense or because of the defense?
No, I'm going to say because of the offense, because it's the Giants.
Okay, fair enough. What do you think?
I think Dallas will score at least 30. If not, I'll be surprised.
Okay, that's fair. Bill?
They didn't last year. Remember that first game they played them? That was during Helene. That was ugly as hell. I think they ended up scoring like 17-3 or 17-6 or something. It was a low-scoring, ugly game.
Yes.
But anyway, I tend to think that Dallas is going to come out and try to run the ball. And all those stats that you said about Dak, they're skewed because the division wasn't that great. not Pittsburgh, I'm sorry. Philadelphia was the only team that's sporadically been good here and there, and they've gotten really good recently. Now Washington's really good. Those numbers are going to come back down because he's not going to beat those teams on a regular basis now. Their franchises have passed us, and those two quarterbacks are better than him at those places. But he does have the Giants number, and eventually that's going to end. Watching the Giants last week, because I had them on my chain first, and I paid a lot of attention on them. I thought they were going to cover that spread. Their offensive line is terrible. I tend to think that Dallas is going to run the ball, and they're probably going to get after Russell Wilson. If it becomes a higher scoring game, it's only because there's turnovers from the Giants. I would say Dallas wins like 24-27-13 or something like that.
That's close to what I had it. I'm looking at the numbers now. In the games that Dak Prescott started and finished against the Giants, and this is just a rough estimate by just quickly looking at the numbers, Dallas averages beating them over their last 8 times that they've played. They've won 8 straight against them. Their average margin of victory in games Dak started and finished that I'm looking at here has been by almost 20 points per ball game. That is
wow.
Incredible. That is big time.
Yeah,
but that last one was a low scoring close game, right?
There were 2 games.
The first one last year.
That was in New York, and that was 20-15.
Yeah, I knew it was some weird score that was low scoring and close. That was, like I said, that was a Thursday night before Helene. I remember that.
I think
because I was driving around.
And that definitely hit under too, because it's like what you said about that stat sheet. You said the unders and at New York Giants is 15-1.
Yep.
Yeah, they're playing in Dallas Sunday though, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm picking the over because of that. Now, if it was at the Giants, I definitely would have picked the under.
Yeah. How long do y'all think? Real quickly, how long do y'all think before they go ahead and bench Russell and bring in what's that kid's name from
Jackson
Ole
Dart
Miss?
from Ole Miss?
Yeah, Dart.
Sean,
what was the question? How long is it going to take? I'll say week 5 they put Jackson Dart in.
My guess is they're going to wait until they actually think they can win a game to make them look better than they should. They have Dallas this week. They have at home against Kansas City next week, at home against the Chargers, and then they go to New Orleans week 5. That's actually a good pick, Sean, because that's about where I think they're going to put him in at. A game that they feel like they can stay in and to make him look better than he really is.
And that's why I picked it right there, because it's against the Saints.
Unless, of course, Russ comes out there and becomes the old Russ, and all of a sudden they somehow upset Dallas this weekend, then he ain't going to come in anytime soon. So.
Well, it's going to be hard to do that with bad offensive linemen.
They were killing him on all the NFL shows that I've seen this week. But Russ, it wasn't his fault. He just had no time.
Yep. Offensive lineman. Yep.
I've said that when Daniel Jones was there. All right, next, Denver at Indianapolis. This is very
give me Indy. I want Indy. I'm sorry. I feel confident, not just because of one game against the Dolphins. I thought that he was well poised in the pocket. He was more comfortable. He looked like he went through his progressions well.
So you're taking Indy at home?
Yep.
You also live in Indy, right?
Yep.
What's the score? He don't live in Indianapolis. He lives in Indiana. What's the score? What's the spread in that game?
1 point. Denver's a 1 point favorite on the road.
Yeah, I like Indy too.
Okay, so these are the top 2 teams as far as defensive EPA in the entire league. Denver was number 1 last year, the entire league in defensive EPA. Obviously, what Indianapolis did to Miami last week is the reason they're second in the NFL after 1 week. We don't know how good that is until now. I'm taking Denver. I don't like Bo Nix at all. I do like Indianapolis a lot. This is one of those games when a team comes out and doesn't cover the spread in the first game and they're more than 7-point favorites. When they go the next week, they have like a 70-something% against the spread rate. Denver's the only team that can fit into that category this week. I think Denver goes on the road. I love their coaching staff way more. I love their weapons way more, and I love their defense way more. Daniel Jones is going to prove people wrong. I just don't think it's going to be this week. So,
the only reason why I'm picking Indy, and I heard all those stats. Cowherd brought all that up this week, several times, and I get all that. I just feel like that, the football games are won a lot of times on the lines of scrimmage, and I think that Indianapolis has been really good at both of those, and they just hadn't had a quarterback, and they've got one now. So I think it'll be an ugly, low-scoring game, and Indy finds a way to win.
I think Denver wins something like 24-14, somewhere around there.
I want the under too.
Philadelphia, Kansas City. I'll go first on this one.
Ooh.
Look, I don't think either one of them's getting back to the Super Bowl. I don't. I said it before the season. I don't think either one of them's getting back to the championship game. I don't think Philadelphia's going to the NFC Championship. I don't think Kansas City's going to the AFC Championship. I know a lot of people say I can't see Kansas City going 0-2. I did. I picked Kansas City as my second best play of the year season totals to go under 11.5. I am pulling hard for Philadelphia here because if they lose this game, they're well on their way to under 11.5. However, what I saw from Philadelphia last week wasn't the same Philadelphia team as last year either. And when you start having those little guys come out like A.J. Brown coming out talking about he only got one catch, and then he comes out later and saying blah, 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 he doesn't care. He'll get his, he'll eat. That starts blowing the locker room up. I don't think those guys like Sirianni to begin with. I like Kansas City to somehow, even without Xavier Worthy, to somehow come home and find a way to win because they still got Andy Reid and they still got Patrick Mahomes. I'll take Kansas City here.
Yeah. Normally, when there's a Super Bowl rematch, this is another one Cowherd threw out there. Usually the loser of the Super Bowl avenges that in the regular season the next year. But I think there's big problems in Kansas City. I think they've got roster issues. And you always talk about how when you win all those close games, the next year it bites you in the butt. I'm with you. I picked the Chargers to win that division. Didn't surprise me last week that they won that game. I think Kansas City's in trouble. I think there's a real chance they don't make the playoffs this year. I'm picking Philadelphia to win this game. And, I hate to say that because I'm a Cowboys fan and hate them.
I hope you're right because that really helps my under. So, Sean?
Does Kansas City Chiefs, are their O-line healthy this year? That's my first question.
If you don't know, then you don't be asking us.
Forget about it then. Give me Philly.
Okay, give you Philly. We're gonna go through all these picks in a second, so don't worry. Atlanta on Sunday Night Football going to Minnesota. We don't have to break that down. I don't see either one of those teams being worth
I give Atlanta. Give me Atlanta.
All right, so let's go through each one of these, and we'll do this every week. We're gonna go through. This is not against a point spread. This is just who we think is gonna win. Each person will start a different one. New England at Miami. I'll start. I think Miami finds a way to shore it up, and I'll take Miami to win and beat New England. Bill?
Give me the Patriots. I think Miami's getting ready to implode.
Sean?
Yeah, give me the Patriots to win and the head coach, whatever his name is, to be fired from Miami.
McDaniel.
Yeah, McDaniel to be fired.
Jacksonville at Cincinnati. Bill, you go first.
I'll take Cincinnati, and I think they win probably by more than the point spread.
Sean?
I'm gonna say Jacksonville. I'm just gonna be bold here.
Okay.
Just go.
I'll take the Natty. Until Trevor Lawrence proves me wrong, I ain't never betting on him. Cleveland at Baltimore. I think we all agree that Baltimore is going to win. Is that correct?
Agreed.
Yeah. Baltimore wins. I think Cleveland covers the backdoor cover.
New York Giants at the Cowboys. We've already said we all think Cowboys. Los Angeles Rams at Tennessee. Sean, you start.
Give me the Rams.
Rams.
Rams are incredible as far as winning straight up under Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford because they do what they're supposed to do. I saw a stat earlier. They are literally like 80% as far as winning straight up when they're favored, and they're literally like 25% when they're underdogs. So they always do what they're supposed to do. I think the Rams are going to go to Tennessee and win as well. Buffalo and New York Jets. I've already picked the Jets to win straight up. Bill, I know you like Buffalo. Sean, who do you think in this game?
Buffalo.
Okay. Chicago, the Bears at Detroit.
The Bears.
Bill, you go first.
Who are they playing? Detroit?
Yep.
You think it's possible? Caleb looked great when they scripted those first 10 plays. You think it's possible their coaching staff could script like their first 85 plays? Because he has absolutely got the athletic ability to be a great quarterback in the league. The problem is his processing. If you could let that coaching staff say, okay, we're going to do this and you're throwing the ball here, he may be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The problem is they can't do that. They can't script it after the first series or two. So
agreed.
Give me Detroit. Detroit needs that game. They're going to win.
Yep, give me Detroit, and I want the over.
Give me Detroit as well. I've said it many times. Caleb Williams, the most overrated quarterback I've ever seen in my lifetime coming out of college. The dude has everything that you want as far as physical attributes. The dude just doesn't have it upstairs. He does not know what to do when they start getting pressure on him. He is not good.
Let me tell you something that I heard on Colin Cowherd. There was this guy that covers them for the NFL, and he's been covering them for a long time. And this is what he said on Cowherd's show, and it was scathing. He was saying that the problem with him is not only that he's not committed. He thinks he's above getting into in the film room and looking at film. He's uncoachable. You know, he doesn't listen to what other people, the other criticisms that they have of him, other people, regardless of their coaches or other players. And so because of that, you know, he seems to be unjailable. You know, you can get in there and mold somebody to be what they need to be, but he's just not moldable. And because of that, it doesn't matter about his athletic ability and his skill set.
Until he proves me wrong, I'll never think he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. Seattle at Pittsburgh. I'll go first here. Upset special number 1. Something is not right about this at all. I've watched that entire Seattle game last week against my 49ers, and they came out pretty impressive as far as rushing the ball. Obviously, they got Sam Darnold now. I don't know. They got a couple of weapons. They don't have the weapons they had last year. Pittsburgh went on the road, and I know it was a tough fought win. They scored 34, ended up winning 34-32 last week against the Jets. Something is not sitting right with me on this game. Pittsburgh's only a 3-point home favorite. Give me Seattle to go to Pittsburgh and upset the Steelers. Bill?
I don't like Pittsburgh, so it's Darnold versus Aaron Rodgers. God.
Yep.
Go ahead and give me Seattle. I'll take the points. You're right. Why would they only be favored by 3 at home?
Well, this is point straight up. We're talking straight up now, not the points.
Well, I mean, I get that, but I'm just saying I'll go ahead and take Seattle.
Okay, Sean.
Seattle in the under.
Oh wow. Okay. San Fran going to New Orleans in the stink fest of the weekend. Bill, you go first.
You know, well, you heard my prediction on Rich's show earlier. They used to be. This is an old NFC West battle. Most people don't realize that, but Atlanta, San Francisco, and New Orleans, and who was the Rams were all the NFC West. And for some reason, even when San Francisco was winning Super Bowls with Walsh, and then God, what was that other coach after that? Neil, that was y'all's coach that went to Carolina, Seifert. New Orleans was terrible back at that time, but they gave y'all a hard time for some reason. I think New Orleans is going to find a way to win the game.
Sean?
New Orleans in the under. Obviously the under, but still New Orleans.
San Francisco starting Mac Jones. I don't know if y'all remember or not, but I really like Mac Jones. When they selected that Malaka that went to Dallas and now he's left Dallas, and I didn't like that pick at all. I wish they would have gotten Mac Jones. I think they've shorted up.
Joe Milton. I thought that Mac Jones is from Alabama.
I'm not talking about Joe Milton.
No, I know.
What I'm talking about?
No, you're talking about Mac Jones.
No,
he's talking about that other quarterback that Dallas just cut that was playing in preseason from North Dakota State.
Last year. You don't know, do you?
North Dakota State.
Did San Francisco have that same quarterback?
They did. They drafted him.
Oh, Trey Lance.
Yes.
Okay.
I couldn't remember his name, but I knew who he was talking about.
Way better. This is going to be ugly as hell. This really is. And I got to pick on this. I'm taking the under 41 and a half. That's one of my picks in the NFL. I think San Francisco, this is one of those games that San Francisco has a very easy schedule towards the end of the year. They're going to get healthy. They got no Kittle. They got no Brandon Ayuk. They do have CMC. Jawan Jennings is injured. Ricky Pearsall will play. Mac Jones, I don't know how good he's going to be. They got to find a way to win this game. I'll take San Francisco, but I'm definitely not confident about it. So New Orleans is just that bad to me. They're gonna put 9 in the box and stop Alvin Kamara and make Rattler try to beat him. I don't think he can. Carolina at Arizona. I'll go. Sean, you go first here.
I want Arizona.
Okay. I'll take Arizona big. Bill.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'll take Arizona.
Big.
Denver at Indianapolis. We've already said that. I don't know if I got y'all's official pick. Y'all both went Indianapolis. I went Denver. So there.
I want Indian. I want Indy straight up. I want the Colts.
Philadelphia, Kansas City. I pick Kansas City. Y'all both pick Philly. And then we go Atlanta at Minnesota. I'll be honest. I was very impressed by what I saw from Atlanta's quarterback.
Penix.
I liked him coming out. I said that.
Yep.
He kind of reminds me of a poor man Steve Young, lefty and all that. But I was very, very impressed by J.J. McCarthy and their offense coming back against the Bears last week. I'll take Minnesota, but I think it's going to be razor thin. I think it's close. Sean?
I want the Falcons. I have to say, we were watching that game at the bowling alley Monday night, and J.J. McCarthy looked like he was nervous, but then he started clicking.
Well, Justin Jefferson, I'll tell you one thing. For a superstar, I don't know if y'all have seen any of the things he came out and did.
Yeah, I have.
He can. First of all, he's giving to Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk. He's not the
also-
only one. There's
Oh
several
no,
NFL players that
Jalen
are.
Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the other one.
No, there's more
Jamar
than that.
Chase.
Yes, there's a bunch of them.
T.J. Watt.
Also went in front of the media and said that the reason that first throw that McCarthy threw that was picked, it was on him. He ran the wrong route. He should have squeezed it more. I don't trust that he's telling the truth there. I think he's just doing that to make his rookie quarterback look better. But that was fucking awesome. That you don't ever see superstars do that at the wide receiver position.
No, the only question I got about this game is who is going to be kicking for Atlanta.
Yeah, probably they were trying to get the guy that Eddie Pinero, the guy that San Francisco signed, but he ended up choosing San Francisco. So I don't know if they got rid of Koo.
Well, if he's still there, they're in trouble on that. He missed an extra point and 2 field goals in that game.
Last year when me and Jim was betting together, that dude, other than the Super Bowl 2 years ago with San Francisco when they lost to Kansas City, last year Atlanta, that Koo guy cost us more money than anybody's ever cost us in one year.
Goodness.
He missed so many. And then the one time that he made one was the time we went against his ass, and he made it 8 yards.
If you go and look at the stats of that Tampa Bay game, that was one of the ones I was on last week, Atlanta, and I was right on everything except for the final score. Atlanta outplayed Tampa Bay in every way, but Koo lost them that damn game. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with Atlanta here. I think they find a way to win the game, but that damn kicker makes me nervous as hell. I do like Penix. Boy, he was up and down the field. He had like 350 yards in his first official start as an NFL player from game 1.
He has no – I mean, the only weapon he's got is Kyle Pitts, too, so that's impressive. Did y'all either one have any picks in the NFL?
I did on Rich's show. I picked New Orleans plus the 3, and God, I can't remember the other pick. Let me go look right fast.
I'll tell you mine, Uncle Neil. I'm already on it.
Okay, go ahead, Sean.
I had the under of 41.5 with the Rams and Titans game.
Okay.
I had the under of 40.5 of the San Francisco and New Orleans game. And then, of course, I picked my boys to cover that 4.5 spread. But if I did have to pick between the over and under in that game, I want the under. No, I lied. I want the over with Dallas.
So I have a question for you, Sean. Did you hear my picks on Rich's show by any chance?
Well, not at first because I didn't start listening to your show about 3:35. And then about time I
replay on
about do what?
Did you hear my picks? Is what I'm asking. Did you hear?
No,
any?
I heard what you said about Notre Dame, and that's pretty much it. Because
you just picked 2 of my plays in the NFL. You didn't hear them before?
no,
I have the under in both of those games as well. Tennessee and the Rams and San Francisco, New Orleans. I got the under 41.5 on both of those. Good picks. Proud of you.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all heard me, but I had Philadelphia and a pick, and then I had I forgot the other one.
I heard you with Philly. You said you picked Vanderbilt over South Carolina, which breaks your heart.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the NFL games. I had 2 NFL games. One was Philly.
Yeah, New Orleans.
New Orleans plus the 3.
Yeah.
Right. That was it.
Okay, so I had 3 picks in the NFL as well. I had the under in the Rams Titans, the under in San Francisco, New Orleans, both at 41.5. And then my other game was the Jets plus the 7. I don't really have a play of the week. I don't know which one I like the most, so they're all 1-unit plays. So anyways, that's it. We need to make these episodes shorter, like 30 to 45 minutes. We usually went an hour and 40 minutes.
Well, we can. That's what I'm saying. You got to edit these things because we're going to talk about personal stuff in between, and you need to go in and edit some of that crap out.
So anyway, we're going to get off.
After a while, we'll get used to just going through them real fast and talking about them and getting over. I would like to say one more quick thing. I like my college plays better this week, but the other thing is, we were talking about it, and I think we should do it on Sunday nights. We're going to do one of those spaces on Twitter for anybody that's listening now or that's going to watch this later. What time do you want to do it, Neil? You want to do it from 9 to 10 or from 10 to 11 or when?
7:30 to 8 because it's right in between the 4 o'clock games ending and the late night game starting.
So you only want to do 30 minutes of wrap up the whole NFL day?
I mean, we can do 45 minutes. So we can start around 7:30, and by the time kickoff is at 8:20, we'll be done. 45
Yeah, I
How
agree
about
with that.
how about maybe one tomorrow night for college? Then if we're only going to do NFL Sunday night, because I thought we'd do an hour.
I mean, that's up to y'all. If y'all want to do it, we can. I mean, I don't know if we're
Yeah.
trying to shove too much down their throats.
Wait, what time tomorrow? 'Cause I got small group from 5 till gosh knows
Sean,
when.
South Carolina doesn't play till 7:30. I'm not going to get on here until after that game's up.
We
Yeah.
can do a 30-minute wrap-up show tomorrow night around 11 if y'all want.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It doesn't. I'm just offering people who's going to see this now or later if they want to get in there on that space, they can get in there and take a mic. So they can add their thoughts.
Yeah, we can do it on Twitter for sure.
Yeah, on Twitter. That's what I'm saying. We can do that on the space, and maybe doing a 30-minute to an hour show Saturday night, and then another one on Sunday, just wrapping up the day's events.
Yeah.
And I'll post that on Twitter, and y'all can too on y'all's social medias.
All right.
I'll definitely do a Twitter. Anything that doesn't have to have video, I don't mind ever doing. So anytime you want to do it, I'll do it. So.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So until next time, just remember that the games are always a little better whenever you got a little action and you actually win that action.
Hey,
So-
can we review the picks real quick, just so that we know what we got? Sean, do your 5 real fast.
I got them written down. I'll go over them right now.
Okay.
So I'll start with Sean's. Sean has Clemson -3, Georgia -3.5, Vandy +3, New Orleans +3. Oh no, this is Bill. Bill has Clemson -3, Georgia -3.5, Vandy +3, New Orleans +3, and Philly a pick. Sean has Wisconsin +20.5, Oregon Northwestern to go over 48.5, Cowboys -4.5, South Florida +17.5, and Georgia Tech and Clemson to go under 52. And my
Yay.
picks are Notre
I was waiting
Dame
on that.
over 49.5 is the play of the week. Texas State, Arizona State going over 60.5, and Minnesota, California going under 42.5. In the NFL, Jets +7, San Francisco, New Orleans, and Rams, Tennessee both going under 41.5. Talk to y'all later. Have a good
All
night.
right, love
take
y'all.
care.
Y'all gonna get on the game,
I've got to go get Barber here shortly.
Sean?
I gotta use the bathroom.